just got back from our first road match against Georgia Tech, and I thought that was a match where both teams were kind of hitting on all cylinders offensively, and I think Grace Egan, I don't know what she had, maybe like 9 kills or something like that, 8 kills, whatever it was in the first set. That's really unusual. I think our team had 22 kills in the first set to 25, which is extremely. I don't know if I've seen that. That means that you're not getting many errors from your opponents to get to that 25 number. And you're probably not doing a whole lot of other things, blocking and getting aces and things like that. So offensively, just a really clean set. I think that was a school record for hitting percentage against a ranked team. Those were just some really, really big numbers from an offensive standpoint for that match. I think our lowest hitting percentage from anybody was something like 400 or something like that. So defensively, I thought we got better as the match went on, and serving, I thought we got better as the match went on as well. That was a tough environment. It was it was a really good challenge for our players, and it was loud and tight, and I thought we executed really well. And so we got two big matches in front of us to close out the non-conference schedule. First one against Marquette and Fiserv, and I think both of our matches should have over 10,000 fans at it. So we're certainly looking forward to playing in these bigger venues, and then Florida in the Kohl Center. I think Marquette we're playing against a team that is in transition with a new coaching staff, and they look to be playing pretty darn well. Ring is their outside hitter. She's been around for a while, Madison kid, and she's probably putting up the best numbers of anybody that we've seen so far this year, and just is can hammer the ball, can also get the ball into good areas of the court. Physical blocker. They've got a middle and Bray that seems like she's been there forever, and just a workhorse out of the middle. Great slide attacker, hitting for a very high percentage, and a setter that watching her attack clips, I thought she was an outside hitter, because usually you'll see maybe a handful of attacks from the setter. This kid's averaging, I think, a kill per set, which is a lot for a setter, and so that's something that we're going to see some things defensively that we haven't seen from them, and then just a really, really good athletic, physical team on Sunday with Florida, who just happens to be coached from Ryan Tice, who is from Madison, who went from Marquette to Florida. So, really interesting story there. So, looking forward to the week. We gave our kids 2 days off, which is probably the only time all year that we'll be doing that, and just kind of looking forward to getting back in the gym today.
Questions?
You mentioned the attack that Marquette offers, and Florida has some weapons too. I think everybody knew the blocking, you weren't going to probably match the numbers you had last year with your talent you had last year. Are you okay with how they're performing, and are they doing things other than scoring off of blocks that are okay?
Yeah, I mean, our blocking numbers aren't bad. I mean, we're putting up some decent numbers, but yeah, we don't have the size, that we've had. I mean, but it's what we're working on the gym. you can see it playing out in matches. And it's an area we can continue to get better at. It's an area that we will continue to get better at. We put in some different blocking subs, trying to figure out how to use Natalie Wardlow. I mean, her serve is just really, really good, and she's a willing defender in the backcourt, and she can also be a blocking sub for us. So, which area to use that? Madison Quest, I really like how she puts her hands. These are both freshmen, and usually you're not mentioning positive things with freshman blockers because that's just a really hard skill. But both of them can really give us a hand up there in some certain situations. So it's an area that I think we'll continue to get better at. It's an area that we need to continue to get better at.
You were referencing, playing in front of 10,000 plus for 2 matches.
Yeah.
How much of an opportunity is it, kind of from a growth of the sport standpoint, to be Wednesday in an NBA arena, another big venue here then on Sunday, and having a chance to, have those attendance numbers? Yeah,
I mean, it's a little bit too bad that Wednesday night's match is at 8 o'clock. I mean, I don't think anybody that's trying to fill an arena, whether it's coaches, fans, or administrators, certainly people like you all that are working on deadline, like those midweek 8 o'clock matches. And so it'd be a little bit nicer had we gotten in there a little bit sooner. But it's one of the goals is to try to get more people, more eyeballs on this, and it's been a pretty good partnership. I think this is the second time we've been in Fiserv. Looking forward to the first time we played there. It was a great match.
Kelly, just kind of going off what John was saying with the bigger venues, I know you've been in the Kohl Center before, especially this, a few weeks ago, but just is there anything your staff has to do to prepare for bigger crowds, but also different, like a larger venues compared to what you have to do within a field house or other, arenas that are smaller when you're going on the road?
I'd say the first handful of times we did that, most of our team is played in places like this. It actually might have been even more of an adjustment going to a place like Georgia Tech, that it was like a sardine can than it was with some of these other bigger venues that recently. That would have been something that would have been different a decade ago. It would have stood out so different. But we've played in some larger venues over the years, whether it's here or on the road, and so it's probably not as different as what it's been.
With Mimi, I think she's second in the nation in kills per set for power conferences.
Yeah.
What about her makes her such a dangerous weapon and somebody that's so hard to defend against, since clearly teams are well aware of her at this point?
Yeah, I mean, her back row attacking numbers are off the charts. I mean, I'd be shocked if anybody's hitting for a higher percentage out of the back row. Usually back row attacks bring your hitting percentage down, and we set her a lot back there. And so, but she hits high. She reaches. It crosses the net at a very high point. Rarely does she bring it down into the block. And she's got great vision of the court and hits various depths. And so, you really get into trouble when you start getting into the meat of the block, and it's really rare for her to do that. She takes really good swings. She's got great vision. She usually has a plan when she's going in there, and I'd say a combination of those really. She's come out of the gate. She's been great. And the other thing I've really enjoyed is each week I think she's been a little bit stronger. It's week 2 was better than week 1, and I thought this week was her best week yet.
Say, Kelly, when you have a coach like Ryan, who was in the state, you said Madison Davis, and going over to opponent you're going to face now, is just how much in terms of scouting, what have you seen kind of taking similar philosophies from when he was at Marquette to Florida, or just what have you seen from Florida early on, and how much is similar and different compared to what you've seen from when he was at Marquette?
Ryan's always done a great job of maxing out the talent that he has. He works hard in recruiting, but their players get, when he was at Marquette, when he was at when he was at Ohio, the players improved throughout the course of their career. He has a different level of talent right now than what he has had, and I think with any transition, especially from Mary Wise is one of the absolute legends in our sport and was there for over 30 years, I think. And there's always going to be a transition when you're going from a highly successful Hall of Fame coach to somebody that's new. But if anybody's going to be able to do that and at a really high level, it's going to be able to be Ryan, because I think the players will feel very quickly how they're getting better. Are there things that help us because we played against him in the past? I don't know if there is. It's he's got a lot more things to play with right now from a standpoint of just the level of talent, and I'm sure he's having a blast. His team has gotten better in a very short period of time. Had a huge win against Pittsburgh. There hasn't been a lot of people that have gone in and been able to beat those guys. I think especially in 5 sets. They've played a challenging schedule up to this point, so both these matches this week will be really great opportunities for us.
Another statistical thing here: reception errors are really low. I think you have 10 on the season. That's only part of the serve receive deal, but are you pleased with how the serve receive has gone and just the fact that you don't give up many points right off the serve? Yeah,
I think we passed over a 2-3 at Georgia Tech. That's a pretty big number against a ranked team. We're giving ourselves chances of getting swings on the ball, and we're not. I think we've been aced, 8 times, something like that, somewhere in there, 8 to 10 times. So we're not giving up a lot of points in that area. We're getting ourselves swings, and I think that's our players, our passers have worked really hard. They put a lot of work in over the summer on their own. They're coming in here getting a lot of repetitions throughout the day, throughout the week with Brittany and John, and there's a confidence that goes along with it when you're putting the work in. But each of them have come a long way.
With Grace and what she's done on the right side, kind of what's impressed you the most, and kind of how do you put for the average person who maybe doesn't have a superb understanding, how do you kind of put into perspective the transition that she's been making this year at that position?
I mean, it's a totally different position having that ball coming across your body that a right-handed right side attacker has to do. Your footwork is different. The critical importance of getting your feet to the ball so you can be able to hit with range. She gets on the ball really quick, as we all know. I mean, that's her superpower, how fast she can get on a ball. She's starting to work in a little bit of off-speed shots that I think will make her even more effective. But she doesn't get cheated. I mean, she doesn't get cheated on her swings. She takes big approaches, big swings, hits with range. When she makes an error, it doesn't consume her. She gets right back to work. That serve has been new. A lot of things she's doing has been new to her game, and there's been a willingness and a toughness to get in the deep end, and we need her. We need her to be one of those point scorers for us, and she's embraced that and carries herself with the way that I think elite players do out on the court.